And have you been contemplating getting a coach as a route to speed up the process? If so, I want you to stay tuned to this episode of From ABD to PhD show because we're going to talk about the 3 signs you might need in order to know if it's the right time to get a dissertation coach. And the first things first, I want to say thank you all so much for tuning into this episode of From ABD to PhD show. I'm your host, Dr. Ramon Goings, founder of Done Dissertation, where we demystify the dissertation process so you, the doctoral student, can write and defend your dissertation in 1 year or less. Today's episode is sponsored by the Done Dissertation Velocity Group Coaching Program. It is a goal within 1 year to help you write and defend your dissertation. So if you're looking to finish quickly, you want to finish your dissertation in record time, and you want to do something impactful with your work after you finish, then the Velocity Coaching Program is for you. To learn more about the program, you can apply to work with us at velocitydissertation.com, or you can scan the QR code that is here at the bottom of your screen. And so I want to say thank you so much for tuning into this episode because we're going to talk about the 3 signs that it might be the right time for dissertation coaching. Because what we've come to learn is that, unless it's your second dissertation, right? You got a doctorate already, right? Most of us going through this process have never done it before. So the doctoral journey in the dissertation process in itself is just like going through uncharted waters. And sometimes we can feel like we're going through the dissertation process in particular blindly. And as you've been going through this process, I'm sure you've encountered maybe some obstacles along the way. And you've probably been asking yourself, like, is it just easier for me to get some help in order to finish? Because I just don't see a way for me to finish in the time that I want to. And if so, this is why we're going to talk about this important topic today. So again, we're going to talk about 3 signs that you need a dissertation coach. And so when we're thinking about this and you're contemplating whether it's time for you to get a coach, first things first, and the first sign to consider is that first, you have a deadline and time is running out. Look, we've been there. I understand completely that sometimes when we're going through this process, we just have a deadline and we have a time frame that we have to get to, right? And it can feel like, you're up against the clock. Like we get some students that come into our program. I just remember one who came in recently and was like, look, I'm joining the program, but I got 2 weeks to turn around my proposal because some things shifted in my proposal and I got to hurry up and finish and get this back to the committee. And so what they did when they first joined is like they knocked out the edits on those chapters, got it to us so our coaches could review and then turned it back around, right? And so a lot of you all may be coming up against these deadlines where the time is running out and you're not quite sure what to do. And it's really important that sometimes when you're in these situations that you get help. We would love it if folks were, proactive and got help before the timeline and deadlines hit. But we just know that's just a sign of the process, right? Sometimes you're just in a situation where it's just a timeline that's impacting you. And I even can think about one of our former clients, shout out to Dr. Gant. We talked about this on a previous episode, but I remember when she was working with us, finishing up her dissertation, she knew that, finishing up quickly would allow her then to ascend into a promotion that was waiting for on the other side of finishing the degree. And so for some folks, it's not even about the timeline, with the university to finish. You just know that by earning your doctorate, that there are a number of opportunities that await you on the other side. And literally when she earned her doctorate, within like a month or two, she got promotion, a really large promotion in her university context. And I'm thinking about another client of ours, Dr. Terrace Watson, who had a similar experience and defended her dissertation. She got her doctorate in business administration and defended her dissertation. It was focused on getting more Black students in accounting. And right after she defended her dissertation, she got a promotion to vice president at her university over research because she earned a doctorate. Like she was already working in the grants office, but then was able to transition into the vice president role because she had the doctorate. So it's these things that become, available to you when you're up against those deadlines. And for folks, when you get to that point and you just have not been able to figure out a way to get it done yourself, it might be time for, getting a coach or getting some help. Literally during our time, being in this business, helping folks out, we've seen so many things and so many timelines people run up against. Another one in our previous episode, we talked to Dr. Nathan Webb, and he talked about his journey of finishing his doctorate within, he finished his doctorate in about 8-9 months. But during that time, he also had his first child. And so, managing being a father while finishing up the dissertation. So he knew, and I remember when he came into the program, he knew look, we have a child due at this month. If I backwards into this, I need to have my proposal done before the child comes in. So that's what we did. We just planned it and worked his timeline out so that he had his proposal written and defended before the baby came. And it all worked out in his favor and was able to subsequently get his dissertation done. So it's so many of these things that can happen. And we would hate for you just to time out of the program because you didn't have a strategy or you didn't have a way to approach it. So if you've been contemplating like getting help, if you're up against a deadline and you're trying to, and it's okay if it's not even a university deadline or a job deadline or a life circumstance deadline. It could just be, look, I don't want to spend another year ABD. We get some folks who are like, look, I'm getting ready to turn 50. I'm getting ready to turn 60. I don't want to spend another year with this dissertation and with this looming behind me because I have so many other things I want to do with my life. And so even if it's a marker, for yourself, like, look, I want to finish out my doctorate, finishing out my 30s versus it being into my 40s, whatever that is, it doesn't matter. It's just as long as you're ready to put in the work and are willing to do what it takes to finish, then, we always just say, suggest get help. And what we suggest doing is looking at multiple places. We always talk about our programs, but again, we may not be the best fit for everyone. So definitely, we always say, if you're looking to work with us, go ahead and scan the QR code that you see here on the screen, or you can go to velocitydissertation.com to learn more about our program, just to see if it's a good fit for you. And if so, apply to get a consultation. Then you could talk with the team to kind of figure out if this is the right way to go as you're navigating the process. But again, it's no need to hold on to the dissertation process with a deadline looming, whatever that deadline is, if you haven't been able to figure it out on your own. So again, that was the first sign that you need to and probably should look into getting a dissertation coach at this time. And so sign number 2 that you should consider, that getting a dissertation coach, is that your approach without help has not yielded you the results you want. And again, this is important to consider. The results that you want have not come by way of the work that you've been able to do by yourself. And there's nothing wrong with this at all, right? We all have our own work ethic. We all have our own sense of direction with this process. But you have to start to recognize that, you've been going through this process and just your way has not been working to get you to where you want to go. And I would hate for folks to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to be stuck in the same spot, spinning around in circles and not get the help that you need when you know that your route has not been working. And what ends up happening, we had this happen a lot. And you can even talk and watch a previous episode. Shout out to Dr. Tammy Lane, who was on a previous episode from ABD to PhD show. And she talked about this. I remember her reaching out to us maybe 1 or 2 years prior to say, hey, I want some help with my dissertation. Can you support me? And we talked about it, and she decided not to join at that point in time. And so she went and did things herself and got to the proposal, but still was stuck trying to finish out her dissertation. And so then she joined in late December, early January of 2024, and literally finished out her dissertation, defended in March of 2024, and in May of 2024 was able to actually walk across the stage, earning her letters, right? And so it's these turnarounds that can happen, but at first is you coming to the realization that the things that you tried to do on your own have not yielded the results that you want. And so that is a sign when you get to that point when you're not getting the results on your own, it's a sign that you should explore dissertation coaching. And on our next episode from ABD PhD show, we're going to talk about questions you should ask your coach when you're looking for one, because we think that's important as well, because we want you all to do your due diligence on this process, because we don't want you just to haphazardly work with coaches that can't help you and get you the result that you're looking for. So that's really important. But again, if you're trying to do things yourself, this might be a sign that it's time to get some help. It's time to get some support. And that's not a sign of weakness. Experts get help. That's how we become experts. And that's how we go through this process of, in this journey as academics, as a people, is getting the help that we need at certain points in the process. So again, sign number 2 that you may need some help is that your approach without the dissertation, without help, has not yielded you the results that you want. And let's go into sign number 3, right? So if we're thinking about, another sign that it might be time to get a coach, is that you don't want to see another milestone pass and you're not done. And again, sign number 3 that it's time to see a dissertation coach is the idea that you don't want to see another milestone pass and you're not done. So here's how this looks. There are a number of milestones that pop up when you're going through this journey. We have some folks that where it's the turn of a decade, like, look, I'm 39 turning 40, 49 turning 50, 59 turning 60. And that's the milestone. Like, I can't go another year with this dissertation over my head. For some of our folks, I know for one of our clients now, alum, shout out to you, Dr. Bomar, was like, look, this was something I started when I was younger. I wasn't able to finish them, but it's my life goal to come back and earn my doctorate. And so she just earned her doctorate this year in 2024 at the University of Georgia, and put that work in and got her dissertation done. Like, she knew it was a milestone that she wanted to achieve in her career. She didn't necessarily need it for career aspirations, but it was something that was just on her items of things to do. Because there's one thing that we know about clients that work with us at done dissertation: you all are go-getters. You all are folks who don't like to fail, and you are folks that recognize that, hey, if I'm not able to figure things out and I have a particular milestone that I want to get to, I'm going to find the resources and support I need to, get this process done. And for a number of folks, it could be a number of different reasons why, in particular milestones that you want to get, you need to accomplish to get done. One of our clients, their goal was to finish so that they can hurry up and bolster their business, because they knew that by earning their doctorate, when they would go do their keynotes and they would do their workshops and trainings as a facilitator, that essentially, as Fat Joe would say, yesterday's price is not today's price as doctor, right? And so don't you all want that for yourselves? And I think that's something to consider. I know for me, that was definitely a push in my journey to finish. So for me, when I earned my doctorate, I was 29. And I thought, yeah, I'll try to finish this before I'm 30. And I felt I was able to finish before I turned 30. I thought it was important for me to get out and finish, because I knew I had taken a sacrifice the year before by actually going, or 2 years prior, of actually taking a pay cut to go into a position that gave me more time back to work on my dissertation. But when I took that cut, I had took a pay cut. So I said, look, I can't take this cut. And it was upwards of like $25,000. I'm like, look, I can't take this pay cut forever, but I know this is a moment in time. I'm going to reinvest into myself to get my dissertation done. So literally that 2 years of sacrifice springboarded me, where I recouped the 20 and added another, about 30 or so just onto that by earning my doctorate. And so these are the things that are really important when you think about, is it a sign? Is it time for me to get the coaching I need to finish the process? And if you're in this boat trying to figure out, is it my time? Is it not? Again, we would just recommend that folks look into getting some help, get some support. And if you are working on your dissertation, we would invite you to learn more about our program and apply to work with us. You can go to www.velocitydissertation.com, as seen here on the screen, or you can just scan the QR code if you're on your phone or another device. Feel free, or pause this video so you can go ahead to the website and check out what we got going on. And then in order to, make sure that, we always want you to make sure that you have the support that you need. So whether you work with us or not, we will let you know, hey, this might be the best program for you, but here are some other options that might get you to where you want to go. And if there are someone's on here who is not quite at the dissertation process yet, but is trying to be proactive and really wants to finish this thing, I would recommend you to grab a copy of my book called 14 Secrets to a Done Dissertation, a guide to navigating the dissertation process and finishing in record time. The book is a short, actionable book that will help you get done and help you get to the finish line. So if this is something you're interested in, definitely grab your copy there. But with that, I do want to give one more sign that it might be time to see a dissertation coach. And that sign is that the politics of the process is holding you up from finishing. And this is a bonus one, because I wanted to do 3, but I had this 4th one, and I just wanted to share with you all before I jump off today, is that a sign that you might need a coach is that the politics of the dissertation process is holding you up from finishing. And so what we come to learn by a lot of our clients is that folks who work with us, it's not that you all are not great writers, right? You all have ability, you all have a lot of skills. But I think what ends up happening is sometimes it's the process that gets in the way of you all finishing. And sometimes navigating the politics of the people. This is one thing we do exceptionally well for our clients, is helping them navigate this process. And just to give an example, we had a client who was experiencing some setbacks with their dissertation chair. The dissertation chair was asking for all these, what I would say would be outrageous requests and really nitpicky things around grammar, syntax type of things. And, the client would address them, and the chair would come back and say, no, you haven't done it. You need to do this. And they would do what the chair said, and the chair would switch up what they said. So essentially was this goalpost kept moving. And what we started to do was work with the client on, hey, what you're going to have to start doing is documenting everything with this chair, so that every time you meet, there's an email that gets kicked back to you both that says, hey, here's what we did during our session. Here's what we covered. Here are our next steps. Here's what I plan to do. Here's what I need from you, and start documenting it. And literally, once they started documenting it, they did this about 3 meetings straight. And I think the chair got a clue of what was happening. And they recognized, like, oh, this client and this student is not playing around with them. And so they had a whole new tune. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, let's send this proposal off to the committee. It's in great shape. You all shouldn't have to go through that. This is why I'm writing a book right now on how to chair dissertations, because I know that, there's some support that faculty can benefit from as well on chairing. But I want to give you all the scope and things that you need. So, right, if you're trying to navigate the politics of your committee and how to work with people who are unresponsive or give feedback that conflicts with each other. So maybe you have a chair and committee member that give conflicting feedback, or a chair that gives you no feedback, but a committee member that gives you a lot and they're trying to override the chair. All those things are dynamics and politics at play. And for you all, it can be difficult to manage because you're in a position as a student where you don't have the power, right? And so this is where coaching and a sign that you might benefit from having a coach, and particularly one who understands faculty dynamics, that can help help you navigate the process. So again, this is something I really want you to consider as you're moving forward and on your journey to finding a coach. And so if that is your space and you're trying to find a coach, I would love for you to come work with us in our Velocity coaching program. So if this is where you want to go and this is the type of support that you might need, you can go ahead and learn more about our program at www.velocitydissertation.com, or you can scan the QR code that is here on your screen. If you have questions that arise, please leave us a comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the like and subscribe button. We are on a journey to building out our YouTube page. So we're looking to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost at 500 right now at the time of this recording. So our next milestone is the 1,000 subscribers. And so we would love for you, if you can, share this video with 3 or 4 colleagues that they can provide benefit to it from these conversations around getting a coach. And so again, I want to reiterate, if you're looking for support, you might need help, come to apply to our program and look more into us, because it doesn't cost you anything. It's just a matter of time to, talk with someone about the program and see if we're the right fit for you. And again, if we're not the right fit, we'll always send you to someone else who is. And this is really important because we all want you all to win from this process. And we don't want you all to let just, your own stubbornness of not wanting to get help to be the reason why you don't finish, because you all have impactful work that's going to change the lives of the people, communities, and organizations you care about. So we want to help you along that journey. So with that said, I want to say thank you so much for tuning into this episode of From ABD to PhD Show. I'm Dr. Ramon Goings, founder of Done Dissertation, where our goal is to demystify the dissertation process so that you can write and defend your dissertation in 1 year or less. Much respect to our partner at HBCU Smart TV, who does stream these episodes on their platform. To learn more about what they have going on, you can go to www.hbcusmarttv.com. But again, I want to say thank you all so much for tuning into this episode. And until next time, let's get those dissertations done. Take care.